In this tutorial we're going to look at the second type of selection that we have in many programming languages, and in Java it's called switch. So this is where we're going to evaluate the contents of a single variable. So I've got here in line 5 my integer variable number, and I've assigned it the value 7. Now at line 7 I'm actually going to say, well, have a look at the contents of number. Don't compare that value with anything, just see what's inside it. Then I'm going to set up several cases, and I've got here some examples of how I could do that. So if I'm just looking for one value, and if it contains a number 7, which we see it does, well, we're just going to output the word 7. But then let's say it was a 5. So switch number, have a look at what is contained in number. This case 7 would be the equivalent of if number equals 7. But instead it just goes a simpler case 7. Well, that's now false, because obviously 5 is now stored in number. So therefore these two lines will be skipped, and we'll look at the second case. In this example I've got various options. Now I could have done these on multiple lines, case 2, colon, case 3, colon, etc. But I've done them all together, because here I'm showing I want the same thing to be output in this case, regardless of which number it is, so long as it's one of these 5 numbers that I've listed. So case 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, the comma separating them. If the value of number contains any of those, well, we're going to output even number. If it doesn't, we've already seen it's not 7, it's not 2, 4, 6, 8 or 10, then it will look down the list, and the only thing we've got left is default. Now default would be the equivalent of the final else in a if statement. So in other words, if the value stored in number is not 7, it's not 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 or any of the other options that I may have written down in my code, then this is the line of code that's going to run instead. Now the keyword break here means basically when we come across a situation where the case applies, we're going to run the code immediately above break, however many lines that happens to be, but then we're going to jump out of switch altogether. So if I change number back here to be a 7, we see that the first case is true, so we're going to output the word 7. But then the break is really important, and was effectively saying, now get out of switch, jump down to line 18, and if there happened to be any code at line 18, it would start running that from there, and it will no longer look at any further cases or the default section of switch, it would just skip them.